Alright, so I just want to do a quick update on this mountain board project here. So where we left off, we were looking at this guy here. We ended up taking this and doing a bunch of writing on it and coming up with a list of things we wanted to try and what we wanted to change and things we liked and things we didn't like and that sort of thing. And so I took that list and I've now gone and designed a board that kind of fits those changes. And this is a board I could build, definitely, but I don't want to commit that much work into it yet. So I had this big discussion with Riley, and we decided that breaking it down into a stringer board makes a lot more sense at this stage. And so I just pressed this stringer, and it's just a 2D stringer. It's flat across, and this is a mold for this is something that's really easy to build. And then with the foot platforms here, that makes pressing these tremendously easier as well. And so getting that whole setup together, it just cuts out a lot of work. All right, so I'm working on a new mountain board press right now. And so I'm just putting together the mold for the stringer. It's going to be a stringer style board. And this is the male side and the female side over there, just getting glued up. I was able to CNC this, and believe it or not, I was able to cut this mold out in less than 5 minutes, which is crazy. And here's the foot platform, or one of the 2 foot platforms I'm pressing up. And I'm going to use this mold for both foot platforms. And this one is 3D printed, so this is the first time I'm playing around with the 3D printed mold, so I want to open this up and take a look at how that handled all this force. This is a very three-dimensional bowl-shaped concave, and it took all these clamps to force the wood into that shape, even though it's only 3 plies and only this small of a section. And if you look carefully, you can see that the board is even bowed under all the force. So it'll be very impressive if the 3D printed mold is still in very good shape. So let's take a look. All right, so there's the mold. There's that side. So I decided to have even less infill on this top than I did on this bottom, just because there's a lot more material here. Seems to have held up just fine. I can't see any problems with it at all. And I could have done with leaving the wood in the mold a little bit longer. It's having a little bit of spring back going on, but we take that saran wrap off and have a better look. Alright, so this is pretty cool. So clearly there was a ton of force going on here because the wood has got a pretty definite impression from the pattern of the mold. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's a little bigger. That's pretty cool. I think I like that. And that's the foot platform, and there'll be one for this foot, and that feels pretty darn good. So it's an 11-inch wide foot platform for the mountain board, and yeah, give you lots of room for your foot to get lots and lots of leverage. So I'm excited for that. So now I've just got to put another board in here, press the other foot platform, and by that time these should be dry enough where I can press the stringer out of these things, and then we'll be really close to having a new board. Alright, so I got the second foot platform pressing up, and I've got the stringer all pressing up, and I don't want to even think about how much force it took to press this up, because this was just absolutely crazy. But yeah, the amount of force is just crazy, and this is a 4 3/4 inch wide stringer, and there's no concave even. This is just flat. Trying to bend this much shape into an 11-inch wide deck with concave would just be nuts. And yeah, so it's clearly was a good idea to go with the stringer. I think it's possible with the tools I have to do just a straight 11-inch wide deck, but it will definitely be an undertaking, and I don't think I'll be able to press it all in one session. I'll have to break it up and do it in a couple plies at a time. And I'll leave this for 2 days, I think, just to make sure there's not any spring back going on. So there we go. All right, so that's the stringer board put together for the first time. So one of the thoughts with this design is just the flexibility of playing around with it a lot. You know, I've got lots of space on both ends to move the trucks up and down. I can move the foot platforms closer and further apart, and I can, you know, change the angle on for the wheel cutouts as I need. And I should have plenty to work with. The downside really is the fact that this is a less robust way of doing things. There's a lot of torsional flexibility. In fact, yeah, it's pretty flexible torsionally. It'll get a little bit stiffer as it continues to dry over the next 2 or 3 days. And I am also going to be glassing the bottom of the stringer, so it'll get a little better, but it is definitely not a production style construction. So this will be good for what I'm wanting right now, and it'll give me a chance to really figure out how I'm going to press a full board of this size with this much shape. So the board is now essentially done, and we're just waiting for the trucks, which are going to be the next part of the project. I've already gone through the whole process of how to 3D print the hanger, and I've already got hangers printed for this thing. I've had them since the previous board, and now we got to also do the base plate. And so I'm probably going to be trying to figure out how to 3D print the base plate, and because it's just time to move up from the wooden base plate that we made from the previous board. You know, the wooden base plate, it got us. We got the information we needed out of that. It's time to ditch it. It's just not that great, I'm sorry to say. The main reason why we need to upgrade and go with a real base plate is I also need to start trying to think about how to implement real resistance, not just having O-rings stretched over the top. And so we need something more than just giant wooden blocks. So there we go. That's where we're at with this mountain board project. Longboard technology, over and out.